So welcome back to another episode of A Pinch of Salt. We're in Soleil's Salt Cave. It's Tuesday morning on August 14th. I just want to give you a quick heads up as to what's coming this week, and then we'll be talking with Sulane, who's coming to do flower essence workshops here, and chakra balancing and all sorts of things coming up in the coming months and years. Let's be very
positive.
Yes, that's Sulane. So tonight we have restorative yoga. There's still a couple of spots left. That's Bethany Walker and Linda will be doing adjustments at the same time and some Reiki. Wednesday night is Daniela. So she is from Austria, grew up in a salt cave town. She'll be doing another restorative yoga that's called Journey into Stillness. That's always one to be done. There's a few spots left there as well. Thursday is Lisa Kowski. That's sound healing. If you haven't done that, that's amazing. You lay right in the salt and she plays crystal bowls while you're in the salt, and depending on who's there, the bowls will make different sounds. It's really amazing. Friday, don't try to do that one. That's past life journeying. It's past sold out, so unless you can hang from the ceiling, we'll leave that one alone. And Saturday is Yoga Nidra, so that is wonderful to leave your body and have the body sleep really well. So Yoga Nidra on Saturday, there's plenty of room there too. So today we're going to be talking to Sulane. We've known Sulane for a few years now. I want to say 5 years or about there. We lived in Concord before we came to lovely Exeter and had lovely Soleil. We knew lovely Sulane. And I think it was Adam that we did together. So Nastya definitely did more of that than me, but I do remember meeting you at a couple of kirtans as well.
Right.
But we moved here serendipitously, and then serendipitously realized that Sulane was now our neighbor. So, so she does something called flower essences. Here's where she's going to have to start to take over because I'm fascinated by it. I've done some of what she's created, but let's ease me into this. Flower essences.
Hi there, everyone. I'm so honored to be back here in the Garden Goddess personality. I did a radio show in Manchester called The Garden Goddess once a week, and I thought those days were over, so thank you for bringing the Garden Goddess back to life via radio.
Thank you for coming.
And it's a marvelous adventure to be here sharing the vibrational energy of the plant spirit medicine, because that's what the salt cave is. I feel is we become attuned to the vibrations within us. And plant spirit medicine has been around since the ancient times. The ancients were very attuned, obviously, to the environment and the constituents in the plants. They didn't have the vocabulary or the language to know how they were healed when they ingested certain flowers or plants. They just knew to steep them and make teas. So teas was basically kind of the original plant spirit medicine, and it's been distilled down over the years, and is how I came into actually noticing the benefits of the plant spirit medicine was as a little girl I would like to play outside, and we had these little rolling hills of heartsease, pansies, and my friends would come over and they'd want to play with all of the Barbies inside, and I used to say, no, you can have the Barbies, I'll take the horses and we'll go outside. And I'd take my little horses and they would play with the Barbies, and I'd put them in the fields of the heartsease, and I would nibble on the little heartsease, and I noticed I felt calmer when I would just nibble on the little pansies.
How old were you again?
Probably about 7.
Wow.
So I started developing an affinity for flowers and steeping them and making my own little concoctions and teas at that time. And since then, of course, I've come into education on it and really have made it a thing. And of course, there's the Bach flower remedy that is the blueprint for all of us herbalists distilling flower essences. And so my flower essences, I collect and I harvest in an organic fashion on a 500-acre reserve that has been in the same family since the 1600s. So it's never been farmed, or there has not been any chemicals. So it's just abundant with flora and fauna, and so I feel very protective of that environment, and it's a wonderful place to grow the flowers and the plants that I need to make the plant spirit medicine or the flower essences. So how my method is, and this comes down from the Bach, is I have antique crystal bowls that they're only used for gathering the flowers and the plant material. And I'm very cognizant of when I do gather. It's very important that you gather when it's bright and airy. That way the medicine will have that effect on the body, because it's all vibrational. I also gather in the morning before the heat of the sun comes out, when the oils and the energy of the flower is still within the bud. It hasn't been released into the air of the day during the hot sun.
The oils of the flower?
So the oil of the flower.
Can you speak to that?
The constituents of the medicine that you want to make. And for instance, this is one of my favorites for this week, and I'm working very closely with the rose geranium blend. And the reason being is because we know that we're in this the retrograde, and not only is it machinery and computers, cars that have a tendency to malfunction because we're going backwards. Right. Think of our brain. What is our brain?
It's like electrical.
It's a computer. Yeah. It's like our brain is like this computer that's processing. So during this time, it's challenging for us to stay grounded when all of these machinery and malfunctionings are taking place. So rose, of course, is extremely nurturing for us. So I've blended the rose with the geranium, which is also grounded, and that keeps us steady. It keeps our mind focused. It keeps our chakras clear. And the rose geranium speaks to our first chakra, our Muladhara, for grounding. We want to think, I am. And just the powerful fragrance of geranium itself, it draws us back. Geraniums have been a part of our culture now for, over 100 years. Think Memorial Day and your grandmother's geraniums on the porch. They also have a wonderful medicinal value of grounding us.
So is it just additive, like two flowers together equal 2 times, or do they interact with each other while they're...
They do. They nourish each other. The rose is nurturing to us because we need to remember at this time to be kind to ourselves and not to take things too personally. Like if your cell phone won't turn on, or your battery dies, or you cannot get on the internet fast enough. We need to be kind to ourselves and remember to take a step back and to really remember what's happening in the environment, that it's not us. And that's the benefit of rose, is to be nurturing to ourselves in this time. And it complements the geranium because the geranium is steady and grounded.
Yeah. And so can you speak to how flowers take sunlight and turn it into something? And so is it that...
Vibrational energy. The constituents in... When I'm gathering, so I use purified water, and so I gather my blossoms in the bowl first thing in the morning, and I put them out, and I live on the bay, and so my whole home is surrounded by water energy.
And salt.
And salt. There we are, absolutely. So it's beautiful to just watch the harmony of the water, on the water in the crystal bowl with the plant material floating in it.
And the crystal bowl, what is that? Is it just inert? how does that help?
The crystal bowl is for clarity. It's bringing clarity into the vibrational energy, and that infuses within us. So you have the plant material itself, you have the healing water, and you have the crystal, and that all is for purification, and it's for balancing and harmonizing that which may be out of balance. Because we're like a seesaw, you know, and we say we want to find harmony, we're longing for balance in our life, but when we acknowledge that it's never going to be balanced, that we need our plant spirit medicine allies to help us, they're available in the essence forms. And
so rose geranium makes sense right now because things aren't quite
balanced.
Right side up.
Right,
So,
right.
And then would you just sort of use this for a couple weeks and then phase into a next thing? How do you keep yourself tuned? What's your regimen for that?
My personal regimen is I can feel when the medicine has done its work. I can feel when I'm ready to move on because something else will start to occur to me that I need to reflect on or notice about myself. So the plant will let you know when it's time for another essence, or you can come see me here, or give me a call, and I'll help you determine. And when I do consultations, I always ask that you describe in 3 words what's going on in your life or how you're feeling or what you'd like to address. And then I take those 3 words and I sit with them and I sit with the medicine, and usually they'll communicate with me what you might need.
Yeah, and can you speak more to that? You do chakra work aligned with this?
Yes.
So we have many chakras.
Yes.
Some major, some minor.
Right.
And how do you know what to align with what's most out of balance, where each flower essence addresses, or what is that?
Each, say like the lunar. Okay, now this is a lunar essence, and this lunar essence was crafted in last September at the double full moon. Do you recall? We had that supernova full moon. So this essence, if you're creating intention, if you're starting a new job, I use the lunar essence at the start of a full moon when you're creating. The first 3 days is creating intention. The next 3 days, you're figuring out how to distill it down and map it out and make whatever your intention is. You want a new job, you're going to look up where you want to be employed. And then the remaining time of the month using the essence is working to fulfill that.
Okay.
So the lunar essence has all of this energy of the double super moon that we had, and you work with the lunar essence. That's the only one that I really suggest that you do for a set period of time. Yeah. If you wanted to keep going, you certainly could.
Okay.
Keep going. The skull cap essence, I don't know if you're familiar with skull cap.
Just from you, but no.
Yeah. It's the constituents in skull cap are for sleeping, for restless nights. If you have a hard time sleeping, settling down, we all do sometimes, especially now.
Yeah.
During the retrograde, it disturbs our sleep pattern. So skull cap is used for resting your soul and spirit. And it just doesn't have to be at night. It can be if you're just in that, your mind is just doing the monkey mind thing. You have all the chitta vrittis, which is Sanskrit for the monkey mind. The chitta vrittis that just, won't go away. Skull cap is perfect for that. And dandelion, of course, we know dandelion detoxifies. Great for the 3rd chakra. Anger management, liver, kidneys, spleen, pancreas. It's for letting go, for release.
Yeah.
And typically what I use dandelion for is for